because that is such a challenge. I really think that it makes a huge difference, right? If you're not going in a straight line, you're losing meters constantly.
Hmm.
But again, it takes a lot of time to find that lineup that works really well, that can go straight. So it
Yes.
really takes a lot of experience, a lot of maturity to kick that off. But speaking of kicking that off, U.S. Rowing wants to congratulate all the athletes on a very successful regatta by providing an ice cream social here at 2 p.m. following the college fair. So make sure you head over there, grab some ice cream in the heat here. All you have to do is show us your U.S. Rowing wristband, and you will have the opportunity to choose between chocolate or vanilla with up to 5 toppings. So definitely don't miss out
Pretty
on
good.
that.
Yeah.
Go celebrate your rows. Thank you so much for joining us at the 2024 RowFest, and have safe travels home. But before you do that, let us circle right back to the men's U17 single A final.
In lane one, we have Albany, Dean, Burton. Lane two, Nashville, Boone, Pascal. Lane three, Lake Phelan Rowing with Karsten Bauer. Lane four, RSR, August Rowe. Lane five, Dallas United, Rajan. And lane six, RSR, Ethan. Some tight racing, but lane one from Albany, Dean Burton, has a commanding lead over the rest of the pack. It's a tight race for second from Nashville and Lake Phelan. Lake Phelan has put on some good showings in these smaller boats in the single and double. They've already medaled in the double this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. And we are looking again at some phenomenal athletes here. Remember, this is an A final, so we have seen a lot of these athletes rowing in other boats like doubles, quads, and even some eights before. But we want to look at what are we looking at here? Let's see, when our camera pulls back just a little bit so we can see who we're actually looking
That's
at.
lane one, I
Lane
believe.
one, I believe you are right. That's Albany Rowing Club out in front, followed very closely by Nashville's Boone Pascal, again, rowing down there in Nashville on Percy Lake. So they get a lot of experience rowing in choppy water, which is very nice for them right now because this water is absolutely stunning. So then we go right back to Lake Fallon Rowing. That is Karsten Bauer in lane three. So still connected to Nashville's Boone Pascal.
We were talking about rowing clean in the pair earlier. Rowing clean in a single, how is that different?
Oh, that's a very, that's a very good question. Well, it does help that the athletes have 2 oars instead of one. So remember, they have a little bit more control over the power on each side of the boat. So they're not actually relying on somebody else to actually apply that power curve throughout the stroke at the exact same time. So it is a little bit of an advantage when you can just rely on yourself rather than one other person to apply the power at the same time. And that's what makes the pair a little bit special, a little bit unique in that way. But when you're in a single two, you also have to make sure that you are pushing off your feet with the same amount of power. So in a way, it provides a little bit of a different challenge. So some athletes tend to be a little bit stronger pushing off on one foot or the other, which very much affects the steering here in a small boat. So it takes a lot of coordination. Takes a lot of coordination and a lot of balance, and keeping the body still throughout the stroke too. I know it looks like organized chaos when we're rowing out there, but it's really, really important to be very, very still and very quiet with the body as we move and try to place those blades in the water before we push.
Yes.
So it's a very delicate sport in a way.
It's a lot of finesse with these smaller boats. With the eight and the big eight, four, the bigger boats, you can get away with a little bit more. These smaller boats, uh, Dean is doing an amazing job of rowing clean, of rowing, getting the power per stroke, of moving simultaneously, blades coming in and out of the water together, and putting on a show.
Good, and we are about to see them just pop out the other side of the bridge here. So if you are down here on the sidelines, do take a look down at the bridge as they are through the 1,000-meter mark for the most part. And it looks like we have Dean Burton from Albany in lane one, about to hit that 12:50 mark with about 4:30 on the clock. So very, very impressive timing here on these singles. And we will look back about 3 boat lengths open water to Nashville's Boone Pascal, again in that beautiful blue shell, rowing down there on Percy Lake. They get to do the Percy Sprints there. They get a lot of experience rowing in these small boats, and they are building up their junior program again after many graduations. So, like many other programs out here, they lose a lot of seniors and then have to build up the program again. So very well done to Nashville. But we're up here again, Albany Rowing Club with Dean Burton still in the lead, and you will see him moving up to the 1250 at this time, keeping an eye out all the way across the course there. And then just behind Dean Burton and Nashville's Boone Pascal, you will see lane 3, Lake Fallon Rowing, Kirsten Bauer. And then we will go right down the line. Lane 4, Ready, Set, Row. That's August Row. Lane 5, Dallas United. Lane 6, Ready, Set, Row. And I'm not sure, maybe Albany's rowing hat there, that beautiful bucket hat, giving him a little bit of free speed there. Not really sure, but it is certainly working for him, whatever it is. But Dean Burton, again, coming through the 500 to go. And again, about 3 boat lengths open water behind is Nashville's Boone Pascal. And as we watch Albany's Dean Burton come up to that 250 to go, we're going to keep an eye on some stroke rates here. Again, in the bucket hat, possibly providing some free speed. We'll see if he decides to take a sprint and when, to try to push away from Nashville's Boone Pascal, who will be pushing away from Lake Fallon's Karsten Bauer, again in lane 3. So we have a nice even line going all the way down the course from lane 1 to 6. So again, as we see Dean Burton coming into that 200 meters to go, start to keep an eye on those stroke rates and see if he starts to kick it up a notch or two to try to push away again from lane 2, Boone Pascal. Here we go. So far, he's keeping it nice and long here. Very loose, very long rowing here. Really, really nice rowing here by Dean Burton. I know up in Albany, they have a very strong program, a lot of experience in these smaller boats, and it's definitely showing here with Dean Burton within the last 20 strokes or so. So we'll see him possibly sit up, bring the rate up just a little bit more, and it looks like as I speak, he has already brought it up to a 36 to just put an exclamation point on this excellent performance here, again, by Albany's Dean Burton, barring no disasters here. He will cross the line in first, followed by Nashville's Boone Pascal. Very well done. You see that hand held up in the air. Congratulations to Albany's Dean Burton. And here comes the gorgeous blue shell of Nashville. Boone Pascal crossing with about a 28. A little bit lower than some of the other sprints, but it clearly worked for him here in second place. And in third, we are looking at Karsten Bauer from Lake Fallon.
Lane 6 coming out of, is looking strong, moving up the sprint, moving in front of the rest of the crews here. RSR Ethan is looking clean. He's going to get that 4th place, strong showing, and good racing from RSR. Lane 4, RSR's August, he is crossing the line now. And lane 5, Dallas finishing off the race. Good racing from the bottom half of the pack. And that concludes the men's U17 single. Coming down the course, we have the junior women's